Welcome to the prop line. Andy, Jim, and Corbin. We all scored as many fantasy points as Quentin Johnson on Thursday Night Football, and we're here to break down all. We're here to break down all the props. We've got 6 teams on bye, so it's a little bit of a limited slate, but I think there's some really, really good opportunities here. So let's jump right into it, guys, and we're going to start with Jim. Your Jets at the Bengals. I am all in on the Bengals and the Survivor. The headline, my favorite headline of the season so far. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson out. Coach won't commit to starting quarterback.
They've even left out a couple things in that headline. They left out a couple things as well.
But it's just like everything has gone wrong in that one. So I'll let you go first, Jim. Is there any props that you can decipher in this game? Honestly, these guys not playing makes it kind of tough on the Jets. Mason Taylor wasn't practicing, so do you have any props on this game?
Here's what I'm looking at. This is going to be our last week, probably, to consistently fade the Jets defense against tight ends. We'll get to that theme in a minute. So as of next week, it looks like Quincy Williams is set to return. That's our starting best linebacker. Noah Fant, anytime touchdown at plus 245. Just screams it for me with these guys. I would also look at his receptions. Even though we're losing Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter looks like he's going to play, and we've seen an improvement from the other 2 cornerbacks. So I still believe that tight end is going to be the way to go against this New York Jets defense. As far as Jets offensive props, we can do absolutely nothing right now, not knowing who's in and who's out. We don't even have receiving props.
Yeah, they don't have any
websites.
props.
It's just they don't have it. If Garrett Wilson is out and everybody's out, I spoke to Andy last week about this. They lined the other Jet receivers so low last week, and these guys went easily over. Alan Lazard, the ghost of Alan Lazard, goes over his receiving totals. So when these numbers come out, we have to start looking at these. It's just too low. At garbage time, you're talking one pass, and these guys can go over. The other thing that I would love to see and confirm is we're waiting to 100% know if Trey Hendrickson is going to be back. If Trey Hendrickson is back and he is healthy, whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields, I will be playing Trey Hendrickson to get a sack against this team. We cannot block. Tackles are playing great, but there's nowhere to go with the football. The quarterbacks just have to hold it. That's pretty much where I landed with this. The only other thing, hope I'm not stealing one of your plays, Corbin, Greg Zerline, Nick Folk, 2 field goals. Just keep playing it with the Jets. The stalling offense will strike again.
Corbin, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, that's all I had was the over 1.5 field goals. He's their star player. The only player that can do anything on that offense is kicks and field goals. So,
God, yeah, just open the wound and pour in the salt yourself, Corbin. Jeez.
No, there's no salt. I'm just betting on your best player. Like, it just makes sense. Like, I also like him to just kick 1 field goal at minus 400 as a parlay piece. So.
I think you guys are sleeping on one here. What did we see from Chase Brown with a competent quarterback last week? 108 yards? Okay, you have my attention. I have Chase Brown in a fantasy league, so I've actually followed him pretty close. And he's been absolutely non-existent. At one point, he was averaging 2.3 yards per carry. Pittsburgh's not a good defense. The Jets aren't as well. Chase Brown looked good. That's 108 yards, and he didn't have like a 90-yard run. His longest was 37. He was getting good chunks. And what I saw from this Bengals team was they were fighting kind of for their quarterback. They were like, okay, let's do this. Like let's. Oops, sorry guys.
While we're at it, we have a prop pack.
There we go. All right, sorry, wrong button. Okay, no, I think Chase Brown, when he has a competent quarterback and, you know, there's a threat of throwing, not throwing and completing passes. Completing passes. I think we might get a run on Chase Brown rushing props here. 54.5 seems way too low, especially if the Bengals are up. Where are the Jets' points coming from? If Bengals get up 14-3, look, I think they run. So I love Chase Brown over his rushing yards. Yes, Corbin.
No, you said where are the points coming from? I said Folk.
Falk, the best player on the Jets. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I really like Chase Brown this weekend rushing. So, all right, we move on to the Bills and the Carolina Panthers. Corbin, coming to you first. What do you
I
think?
want nothing on this game. I think, yeah, just complete
Really?
pass. Complete pass.
All right, Jim, are you a complete pass?
I am not a complete pass. I have been waiting for the Bills to come back. They completely have gone away from James Cook, and they've been told about it from, I'm sure, everybody, not just the fans. I'm sure the players and the owner. You have to ride this guy. And it's getting to be that time of year, isn't it? It's getting a little colder out. You know, teams are getting beat up. I have to go back to James Cook. I got burnt on 2 yards for James Cook's rushing and receiving in that last game by 2 yards. 2 yards. And it was up forever. We're needing 2 yards, and I couldn't get there. I think you go right back to James Cook anytime touchdown. I would most certainly be looking at Dalton Kincaid. Before I repeat myself over and over and over and over and over again on all these videos, we have to remember that it's National Tight End Day. I might as well bring it up now. We saw it last year. It gained more and more focus, and now has become it was an absolute gold mine for tight ends last year. Dalton Kincaid is very reliable for Josh Allen against the Carolina Panthers, who we said are bad against tight ends. They lucked out and played Justin Fields, who didn't want to throw the ball. And we go back and watch that film, and we saw tight ends running everywhere on this team. So give me whatever I can get on Kincaid to score, Cook to score. There's my 3 favorite.
I love Josh Allen over 1.5 touchdown passes. The only game he didn't do it was the Jets. It was a blowout. He didn't need to. Fact is, he's got 2, 2, 2, 3 in his last 4 games. Jimmy mentioned it. If we think Kincaid is going to catch one, there's one. Mm-hmm. And this is a Carolina team that he had 3 touchdown passes against the last time they played. I like Josh Allen on his passing TDs. This has been a very reliable one. 4 games in a row, and you're only paying minus 130. This should be line minus 160. And I gotta be honest, we're getting all the value sucked out of some of these over 1.5 passing touchdowns, or Jalen Hurts not to throw an interception. They're pricing that thing so bad that I actually think minus 130 is a little bit of a mistake on their part. So I will take the Bills in Carolina. My favorite one is Josh Allen over 1.5 touchdown passes. Corbin, let's talk 49ers and Texans.
You all know where I'm going.
We need to go to the receiving yards. I'll click on Christian McCaffrey.
And there is my boy. I cannot say how much I love this man, and I still don't understand this line. He's gone 50 plus every single week, and now it's at 43. It's gone down. It was like 45 last week. Now I know he's playing the Texans, who have quite a good defense, but I almost think that might again help him, because they're going to have issues running the ball like they have every single week so far. They're going to have to throw the ball. They have Kittle back. That's going to create a little bit more distraction, and he just sneaks in. He's so hard to tackle as well. His yards after catch is incredible. I love him. I just keep playing him until it gets into the 50s, I don't even think about it, no matter who he's playing. Other than that, it's field goal week for both teams. 49ers have hit over 1.5 every single week, I believe, and the Texans have done it every single week bar one. So you can play both kickers to go over 1.5 field goals, and I think at worst you go 1-1, if not 2-0. And then you can just do the game over 2.5 or 3.5. 2.5 is a great parlay piece. It's only like minus 220. Again, if I'm expecting 4 field goals and I only need 3, that means one of them can only kick one and I still cash. So they're my 3 favorite props.
Don't you think it's crazy, Corbin, that his receiving yards is 43.5 at the time of recording this, but his receptions is 5.5? Like, so they're like, if he gets 6 catches, doesn't he fly over
exactly? And again, he's done it every single week, and it's plus money on the receptions. It's baffling. I actually I physically can't understand why they keep putting it there, but I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to continue to enjoy.
it is kind of the something stinks about this. Like,
I
what are
said
we
that
missing?
last week though as well. I was like,
You did.
he's done it 5 weeks in a row. Like, why is it still the line's basically the same? So
All
just
right.
keep going.
I'm with you, Jim. Like any other props?
Well, George Kittle's the poster child for National Tight End Day. So Kittle held with no catches and no yards for the first time in his career last week. How could he not be the focal point this week, especially down in the red zone? So I like that. I'm going to go a little contrarian, though, here. I think everybody knows that. So, yes, I like those props, his touchdowns plus money. Could I interest you in a Jake Tonges touchdown at plus 1,000? Anytime touchdown at plus 1,000? When Kittle was out, this guy was the red zone target. Who's to say the Niners don't go double tight end when they're down in the red zone? That number is an absolute joke to think that they're just that's saying that he's not going to see the field. The 49ers run more double tight end and tight end with the fullback sets than almost anybody in the league, and they run play action out of it. I think that number is dead wrong. A little sprinkle. What did Dan call him? Was it Jakey Basketball?
Jake Basketball is
something like some wacky name. I love that sprinkle. Corbin, I agree with you 100% on McCaffrey. It just keeps hitting and keeps on getting there. And I will sit here and eat my words. Even without Fred Warner last week, that 49ers defense stepped up and played way over their head of what I expected. So I'm very interested to see if that continues in this game here against a struggling Houston offense. This will be a good barometer of what we're going to get going forward from this 49ers team.
I will just add in that this number on C.J. Stroud, he's not, come on, 200 and a half that you can get on BetMGM, FanDuel, if you haven't been banned from Fanatics. We know what that means about your record as a bettor. If you still have an account at ESPN Bet Fanatics, I know everything I need to know. This is just low. This is just too low. 200.
It is.
Come on, his offensive line is terrible, but 200 is what Cam Ward should be at. And I will get to Cam Ward and his over his passing props because it's too low. But, this is a guy, 229, 244, 233, 204, 207. I just don't see a game script where the Texans are up huge and they don't have to run. And by the way, their running backs are Woody Marks and Nick Chubb. Like, this is not going to be a dominant run game. It's too low. He's gone over it a few times. And, Jim, I'm with you that the 49ers defense, it was a spirited effort. They just don't have the guys to be an elite defense. At best, they're going to be middle of the road, but that's insultingly low. We have to take advantage of that. So, and what's crazy about it is look at his number, like 229, 244, 233. You could actually ladder this up and get plus money on some of these numbers. So,
Aren't their wide receivers banged up?
Yeah, Nico Collins is dealing with injuries, but I don't care. It's too low. He's going to throw.
If whoever starts for the Jets against C.J. Stroud this week, who has a better chance of throwing for 200 yards?
Neither of them.
No, it's C.J. Stroud.
It's Stroud by a mile, right?
A mile.
You could have Taylor and Fields play, and they couldn't get to. So that number is pretty criminally low. I mean, that is a very, very low number when they're going to have to throw.
Yeah, Nico Collins is out. So.
Yeah, the center hikes 2 balls to Fields and Tyrod Taylor at the same time. They both can throw at the same time. Yeah, Nico Collins, it's too big of an overreaction.
That's why the numbers at that point, though, is because of the options of catching ball. So.
Sure. They're allowed to replace him, by the way. they don't have to play with 10 on offense. So we move on to the Giants and the Eagles. Corbin, coming to you. Giants, Eagles, what do you think?
I have 2 props. First one, you mentioned it already. Jalen Hurts not to throw an interception. I don't know what price it is this week. I got it at minus 155 last week. Minus 170, I don't care.
You can shop around for I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Corbin, but you can shop around and get a vastly different number.
Minus
it's all over the place.
Perfect. He threw one against the Giants, as we know, 2 weeks ago. I watched that game. It was an ugly interception right at the end of the game. And quite honestly, I don't care. I'm just going to keep playing it. He cashed for me again last week. If I play this every game this season, I think I'm going to be profitable. So I'm just going to keep doing it. AJ Brown over 66.5 receiving has my attention. Don't know if I'm going to get to the window playing it because it's AJ Brown. He could suddenly go for 20 yards or go for 100. He had 80 versus the Giants.
He's out. Corbin, he's out.
AJ Brown's out?
He's out.
Hamstring. The hamstring
Then
popped up middle of the week. Wow. Bummer.
That changes everything. If anything, that makes me like the no interception even more because that's one less person they're going to be throwing to. But Dallas Goedert, then I'm assuming Jim will go there, but I'm going to stop talking because Jim's nodding. We'll pass it to Jim.
It's Dallas Goedert, especially with AJ Brown out. It's Dallas Goedert. I think he goes absolutely
he did against
off.
the Giants.
Absolutely off.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's going to slaughter this Giants defense. Touchdown, right? Go to the touchdown. Go to the yards. Take the over. With A.J. Brown out, this defense is so susceptible up the middle, and Goddard really has been, I would say he's been the one real consistency in the passing game for Hurts this season. They hear the criticism. This is a revenge spot. The Eagles, they didn't have a good time last time they played the Giants. This is most certainly on their minds. I will say this. We got the Jackson Dart interception home. That Broncos defense figured him out. They didn't fall for the rookie stuff. Now, he still had a great game, 3 touchdowns and the rushing. But that interception was the prototypical rookie interception, where you think you can pull it off and you get there. And I just worry, again, he's playing great, but I think he's doing almost too well. I would not be surprised to see a regression going forward the rest of this season where we're going to start seeing a couple games together with him with a couple turnovers, a fumble, an interception. It's just the rookie growing pains that everybody has to go through. So I'll continue to ride that streak.
I was looking at Dart's rushing. We've mentioned it quite a few times, Jim. 3 of his last 4, he's had 50 plus, but he only had 11 last week, which was interesting because obviously they were down right at the end. They needed some runs. Even when he took off at the end, they were ready for him. Everyone in this league is going to be ready. Exactly. The Eagles are going to know that he's going to want to run the ball. Like, they're not going to make the same mistakes, I think, that they made last time. So.
No, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Jalen Carter out that game as well?
He was.
Right, so he's back this week.
He is back for this game, right?
That's a big game changer.
I am going to keep fading the secondary of this Giants team. I was looking hard at A.J. Brown over. They are bottom 3 defending wide receivers. So now that he's out, I'll take Devonta Smith. Jim, I cannot argue with Dallas Goedert here. You want a sneaky one?
I was going to say Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson. Yeah, absolutely. He's only gone over a couple times. But with A.J. Brown out, that's a lot of yardage and lot of targets.
What's his longest reception?
Longest reception, they have it at 15.5.
That piques my interest.
That's a good one. That's absolutely a good one. This is a Giants secondary that does terrible. And we saw last week, just Jalen Hurts' passing offense might start to click. That was one of the funniest narratives at the beginning of the season. Like a team that came off a long playoff run and won the Super Bowl was a little rusty in the passing game, and they're like, everyone's questioning the team. like, yes, it's questioning the Super Bowl.
Lazy journalism is what it is. Lazy journalism.
Yeah, this is a sneaky one. I think you're gonna get really low numbers on Dotson here. This line is just not taking into account. So I mean, listen, if you took not the longest reception, if you did receiving yards, and let's say Hurts throws for 250 against the bad Giants, like Devonta Smith, Jahan Dotson, and Dallas Goedert. What's the worst you go? 2-1 with those 3.
The only issue, they haven't run the ball well this year, is if somehow the Eagles get up 2 or 3 scores and just end up running the ball. That's your only kind of issue. But again,
yeah,
they've been we've mentioned.
Other than that, I really don't.
Yeah, Eagles have been great in the first half and pretty rubbish in the second half. So,
all right, we move on to the Browns and the Patriots. Jim, coming to you first. What do you think about this one?
This is going to be an interesting test for Drake May. Drake May coming off a career game last week. Did whatever he wanted. What was the highest passer rating, right? And Patriots sometime, whatever it was. He set some kind of record. They played absolutely fantastic. This Cleveland defense, though, is legit and for real. And Cleveland had the benefit of playing the rudderless Miami Dolphins last week in a cold, windy game, breezy game, post-hurricane coming through. So big difference here for Cleveland going into this game. I would, again, still look at the tight ends. I'm not going to go back to the rushing prop on Gabriel. It was set at 4.5. It was totally weather related. So I'm going to just, take that as a good call and move on and not try to chase that win for actual money. I'll still look at Hunter Henry. I have to look at Hunter Henry and I have to look at Harold Fan Jr. It just, Njoku's name is being rumored so much in the trade market. They know what they have with this rookie. I would almost be looking at taking unders on Njoku if I could find it and overs on Fannin at this point. The last thing you want is somebody who you're thinking about moving getting hurt right before the trade line. That is an absolute nightmare for a GM. So if you believe they have a competent GM in place, they are not going to get this guy a lot of reps if they're serious about moving him. His usage in this game is going to tell us a lot on what their intentions are. If you see Njoku with 8 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, maybe they're thinking of keeping him. I wouldn't risk getting him hurt. I would put him on the trading block immediately if I'm going to trade him and make it happen. Other than that, I don't have any overs or unders or anything. I've been piss poor at picking that on both of these teams.
Corbin?
I'm going back to the same one that I've mentioned every week. Gabriel under his longest pass. Under 30.5, the number is 22, 24, and 23. I'm going to keep doing it. I think the Patriots don't have the greatest pass defense, but again, I don't care who he's playing. I'm just going to keep doing it. So,
I love this one. I had that one pegged as well. I sat here and I said, if you're playing the Titans and you're Travion Henderson, if it ain't this week, it's never going to happen. And guess what? It didn't happen. He's getting worse. This number on rushing and receiving is 31.5. Yeah, sign me up for the under. This man, in a game where the Patriots won 31-13, had 2 carries for 5 yards and no catches. And I was listening to a podcast with a big fan of the Patriots. Terrell Jennings, undrafted running back or late round draft that apparently Vrabel loves. And they said there was this thing where Jennings got a handoff and ran for 9 yards or something and came off the field and Vrabel was there smiling, gave him a big hug. And they were like, yeah, Travion Henderson's done. He don't know what he did, if he said something or if he can't figure out pass protection or whatever it is. They're like, Vrabel is so loyal to the guys that he loves. How Ramondre Stevenson leads the league in fumbles and is getting 18 to 20 carries. There's no other coach in the league that would tolerate that. But Vrabel has his system, and you can't argue with it. But when I saw Travion Henderson get absolutely nothing in a blowout game, nope, I'm completely out. So I want to take him against rushing and receiving, against Cleveland, one of the top rushing defenses. If you ain't doing it against the Titans, you ain't doing it against the Browns. So don't be surprised if you see Terrell Jennings pop up in the stat sheet, not Travion Henderson. I will also go to another under. As much as I like Quinshon Judkins last week, how he didn't get over 85.5 is absolutely beyond me. Fact is, he's a rookie, and he carried the ball 25 times last week, and he had one long run. He had 46-yard run, and then 24 carries netted him less than 40 yards. So I know it was bad weather, and the Dolphins kind of knew what was coming. This is a really, really good, well-coached Patriots defense. Corbin, like you said, they're not elite, but there's decent players. They're well-coached. That was a lot of wear and tear on a rookie. He's had some big games, But against Pittsburgh, he only had 36. Against Baltimore, he only had 61. He can go under, and I think after 25 carries last week, we see a little bit of regression on this one. Corbin, you mentioned, I have to ask you, you mentioned Gabriel. Easy cash on Gabriel to not have an interception last week, mostly because of the game script and everything. Would you go back to it? I'm
No.
on the fence. No? You're out?
I wouldn't. But I would. We'll get to the opponent that you did it against last week later on.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We'll get to him. By the way, when we talked about the 49ers, I didn't mention it. San Francisco has no interceptions on defense so far. I was looking at Stroud not to throw an interception, but the fact is he threw in last week, and his offensive line puts him in such bad positions. I just can't take that guy not to throw.
I did the exact same thing.
So. Yeah. We'll get to whoever's starting for Atlanta to not throw an interception. Just 1 second. Just you wait. So, Corbin, coming to you. Chicago Bears and Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are getting a lot back. Lamar looks like he's going to play. They kind of been holding him out. There's a video where he looked high as hell, and he's not looked. He was whatever. Whatever.
Confirmed.
Questionable. No, in my opinion, there's no question. You're playing Lamar Jackson this week if you want to have a shot of salvaging the season. To me, the big question here, Corbin, is defense. Ravens are getting a lot of guys back. Are they healthy? Are they going to be up to speed? You love players coming back from injury. What's your take on this game?
My take is that the Ravens are going to fly. We'll go to the rushing yards. We both know who I'm going to take, and it's Lamar Jackson over his rushing. 29.5, hasn't played for weeks. First game back, low total. Like if he's played a couple of games, this is in the 30s or 40s as usual. You're getting a discount. Season's almost on the line at this point. They have to win these games. He's going to run. He's more of a running back than a quarterback still. Bears rush defense isn't good. I love players coming back from injury, so I will be playing this one. Only other prop that I have in this game is my Swift over 1.5 reception parlay piece. He didn't get that last week. He just had one, mainly because of the game script. I have to feel. I'm just going to come straight back to it. It's hit every other game this season. So,
Jim,
I will happily take under 31.5 receiving yards for Colston Loveland. They're finally he had some production, so now that number's got to come up, right? It's got to come up from 0. So you're going to hang over 25. I'm going to take the under. I agree with Corbin. This is Baltimore putting all their chips to the center of the table and saying it's now or never. And whether that defense is bad or not, when Lamar is in that lineup, that whole team plays better. They will play better. I believe that Zay Flowers is live. I also believe that Isaiah Likely at 22.5 receptions. We really have not seen
22.5 receptions.
Oh, sorry, 22.5 yards. Excuse me.
Jesus.
Right? Take the.
I was going to say to catch 23 passes. Jim, I know it's tight end week, but come on, steady on.
It's been a long week. We have not seen a healthy Lamar and a healthy Isaiah Likely this season yet. And if you remember the magic that the two of them had toward the end of the year when Andrews was hurt, he had a great season, and they like him a lot. I think we're seeing the writing on the wall that Andrews is on his way out, and Likely is a big part of this offense. So I'll take him over his 22.5 receiving and roll with it from there. I think the Ravens stomped the Bears in this one.
The books are telling you a story with what they expect to have happen with their entire, like 90.5, 90 for Derrick Henry. How it's like they know what's coming. It's as our friend Yanni would say. It's like they've seen. It's like they already know the score. To me, I'm taking the over on this one because I cannot believe how high this is, but. Listening to a podcast again today, and they were saying Picard is back, their fullback is back. They're going to have 2 tight ends. When Picard is healthy, they run the most fullback and double tight end sets in the league. So Henry all day. Chicago's got a pretty porous run defense. I am Still looking at Caleb Williams over this 1.5 passing touchdowns, but I'm not going to get there. But like you said, Corbin, I like these guys coming back from injury. Give me Lamar Jackson. This guy over 1.5 touchdown passes. He does it all the time. Like, it's just so crazy that this prop is not talked about because he's been doing this forever. Look at last year. Look how he ended last year. So you play this
It's
every
ironic.
week.
It looks like he lands on 2 so often.
All the time. All the time.
It's
But
not
that's
like
all
he's
you
having
need.
yeah, exactly.
Because you got to
So-
add in the 1 rushing touchdown from him and the 1 rushing touchdown from Henry. They score 4 touchdowns a game when the guy's in the lineup.
Crazy story. I know nobody cares about fantasy teams. 3 weeks ago, somebody dropped Zay Flowers in one of my fantasy leagues.
Big mistake.
And it's a fantasy. It's the league where I have the worst team that has ever been assembled. So I don't pick up big time free agents. And nobody noticed. So for 3 weeks, I've just sat there and watched Zay Flowers on the wire. But he's ranked so far down because Lamar's not playing that nobody notices. And nobody noticed again this week, so I picked him up. So my absolute dog shit team somehow just has Zay Flowers randomly added to their team. And the rest of the league is not happy. We move on to the Dolphins and the Falcons. Corbin.
We know
Let's talk Michael Penix and not having an interception.
Exactly. 2 straight games with no interceptions. The Dolphins have. Do they have even one?
They have
interception?
one.
Exactly. They have. Every opposition. I'm just going to keep playing this. This Dolphins team is checked out. It's a matter of if and not when stuff is going to happen with that team. Just keep playing it. Defense isn't interested. Defenses, even if they become interested somehow, they're just not good enough. Keep playing that. Other than that, I'm looking at Algier. I cannot play, as much as I like Bijan this week, I cannot play a total that's that high no matter what the situation. It could be that they get up quite a few scores. He could have 60, 70, 80 yards, and then it's the Tyler Algier show because it's a great week to lessen Bijan's workload. So I'm going to go Algier over 13.5 longest rush. The weeks that he's had 30 plus yards, he's gone over this longest in each of them. 21, 19, and 17, as you've just pulled up, against the worst rush defense. And I think he's going to get loads of work because I think they're going to rest Bijan. Bijan's interesting at 19.5 for his longest because I could see him getting a couple of long ones before they rest him. But I prefer Algier this week to Robinson. I want nothing to do with him.
I'll jump in here. What's that?
Go ahead.
Bijan.
Let's see if we line up here.
You said Bijan gets 60, 70, 80. Corbin, this is the ladder of the week. He could have 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140.
He could, if he's not sat on the bench.
Okay. He has played 2 bad rush defenses this year, and he's had 143 and 170. And this is the absolute worst. He struggled against San Francisco, put on a really good effort. Washington's pretty decent. Carolina, sneaky good against the rush. And then Tampa, as we all know, great against the rush, horrific against the pass. Not only do I like Bijan over this 88.5, I think you could grab some really great plus money. They're at home. They like to put on a show when they're at home. I like Bijan to fly over this total, and I feel like Tyler Algier is the sexy pick this week. I'm just going to go meat and potatoes with Bijan. It's the first word I think of when someone goes, "What do you think about Corbin?" Sexy man. Absolutely sexy man. Just give us the wink and the gun. Oh, my God.
Well, I'm going to play the middleman on this and say you're both right. I think you play both guys.
Oh,
I don't know what we're debating here. It's the Dolphins. Is there a third running back that we can play an over on? Is there somebody else? Anybody? Are they gonna?
Okay.
I don't know. It's everybody. The thing with Bijan is he could bust a 60-yard run in the first quarter and just take it to the house. This Dolphins defense is an absolute sham. They're a mess offensively. There's going to be so many favorable field positions for Atlanta in this game, where it's just going to be tacking on yards and tacking on yards and tacking on yards. I will also say we need to keep in mind and keep going with the fade Miami against tight end. So Kyle Pitts, great game last week for Kyle Pitts. Really looks like him and Penix are connected. They know where each other are going to be at. Watching Kyle Pitts make toe-touching catches on the sideline is something that NFL fans have wanted for 3 years. Like, we're finally getting to see what this man can be. I'll take him for a touchdown, but I do believe that it is a Bijan. He's going to break a big one against this defense. I saw the Jets able to break a big one against them. We've seen every team be able to break big runs. And when Bijan gets space, you're not bringing him down. He takes a 30-yard run and turns it into 60. So give Algier the mop-up duty, and he can fly over his total as well. Oh, do we agree, like, we could be looking at 200 yards rushing against this defense?
Yeah, I was going to say, Corbin, on Bet365, do you know what the Falcons' team rushing total is?
I was literally just pulling it up as Jim just touched on it.
You go ahead and do that, and I would like to talk about this over half an interception for Tua, who's had 6 in the last 2. How many did Mahomes have last year? Tua's had 3 and 3. The only games that he hasn't had an interception was Carolina and Jim. I feel terrible because every time there's just like a bad stat, the Jets are somehow involved.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't feel bad. You know what I feel bad about? Not playing Sauce Gardner under his interceptions. There you go.
Oh,
We're talking about Jets and interceptions.
Yeah. 6 interceptions the last 2 weeks. Tua is an absolute shell of himself. My heart kind of goes out to him. It's just the career is not happening, so he'll be a backup at best with his next team. But yeah, the fact that this is only minus 130 is absolutely insanity to me. How is this not minus 200? So I will take Tua any way I can to throw an interception. Do you find the team rushing?
147.5.
Easy play.
Oh, that's a play.
Easy play on that one. Absolutely, I am so in on that play. So, all right, we did see the slide earlier, but we do have a props pack that's up. Week 8 props pack. Yes, we do. We laid off a Thursday. I'm glad we did lay off. We probably would have put out a loser, at least what I liked on. So we have a bunch of props lined up for Sunday and Monday. You get all plays. And we are on an insane 9-1 run in prime time games, which Corbin and I still were like, why? Why are we good on prime time? Like, you don't even have that many options. Like, it's one game. So you get all those. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe we're dialed in. So 63% winners last 30 days in NFL. Goal at the end of the year is 58, 59%. We're just under that right now, but another winning week last week with a nice 6-4. We keep doing that. We're going to be really, really happy with the end of the year results. So partner up with us. Let's cash in on week 8 props. We have 6 that are up right now. We're recording this on Friday, but as more props come out over the weekend, we'll have even more. So we had 10 last week. I would expect a similar number to that. All right, let's move on to next game is Tampa and New Orleans. I will get us started on this one. Our old friend Baker Mayfield, they threw us off the scent. Or I think the books got thrown off the scent because he only threw 1 touchdown pass. I'm going right back to him against New Orleans. This is a New Orleans team that he's had a lot of success with, gone over in 4 straight games. They've allowed 14 passing touchdowns. I believe that's 3rd worst. I know they got all kinds of injuries. He just figures out a way to do it. You'll notice a theme here. The only 2 games were at Detroit, tough matchup, and in a big win against Jim's New York Jets.
There's a pattern unfolding here.
Eddie, you're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry.
That's so funny. I'm going back to his over 1.5 pass. I mean, this thing got up damn near minus 200 to some places last week, and now you can grab it at BetMGM. Even DraftKings has it minus 173, so maybe you're priced out of it. But if you got BetMGM and you can lock this in, I will happily go back to the passing TDs. Corbin, coming to you. What do you think about this game?
I have 2 props. My favorite one is injury dependent. Kamara under 47.5 rushing. He's gone over in 2 of 7, I believe it is. It all depends if Vita Vea is playing. He hasn't practiced the last 2 days, but all the reporters that I was reading says that he should still play on Sunday. If he is playing, I will be locking this play in at 3 or 4% because I love it. But I need Vea to be playing to play that one. My next one is Tez Johnson over 20.5 longest reception. Last 3 games, 27, 45, and 22. I don't like the Saints defense at all, quite honestly. And it's another one I think that with Mike Evans now being out for the year, I think he's going to see more opportunities. He has the speed. I can't say his name. Ibuka? I'm so bad at saying this. Yeah, he's obviously banged up a little bit. He will play. But again, it's just all these things add up into Ted Johnson getting more work. He has the speed. I like his longest. So they're the 2 I'm looking at.
Can I have the floor here for just a second? Can you get Mike Evans a cart, please?
Andy loves the carts.
What?
I think this is the third time he's
What was that? Making him walk off the field. He had a concussion and a broken collarbone. There's 100 golf carts around the stadium. Can we get Mike Evans a freaking cart to take him off the field? That was ridiculous. They're like, come on, sit up. Like, sit up. How about stay down?
Forever.
That was
a while. You're right.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as a security guard having to help Trevor Lawrence off the field, which is still the all-time. But I was seriously sitting there and I was like, are they seriously not going to bring out a cart or something for him to like help him off the field? They're going to make this man walk to the sidelines. So anyway, all right, that was my rant. Hashtag can we get Mike Evans a cart?
That's going to be trending after this goes out.
Like, ridiculous. Jim, do you have any other props in this game?
I'm with you 100% on the 2 touchdowns for Baker.
I thought you were going to say get Mike Evans a cart.
100% get Mike. I'll build you a cart, all right? I'll make sure we'll get the Evans injury cart. We might need it every season from here forth. A lot of miles on those tires. I find it very interesting that Tampa's offense, the second that they amassed injuries, has started looking like Tampa's offense from last year. Like, we were kind of thrown off the beginning of the year. All of a sudden, there's no K-Dot, and Rashad White in the receiving game is nothing, which was a great prop last year. As these injuries have compiled offensively, they're reverting back to that same offense that we saw last year, which is if nobody's open downfield, Baker's dumping it off, getting a couple yards here and there. There's very much that dump-off game, not the big play. With Mbuka hurt, I think we lost a lot of big play. Corbin's 100% right about Tez Johnson. I love the look on longest reception as well. The kid makes some real circus grabs. He looks to be a steal coming out of the draft. And I'll go right back to Cade Otton. There's just so much availability right now with the injuries suffered. And there has to be a safety net for Baker. And it just go back to it. As soon as you see them start to use him, you ride the streak. It's a live bet situation as well. They don't use him in the first quarter so much, but the second half of games, when they have to move the ball, it's just dump off to Otton for 7, for 13, for 8. And next thing you know, he's got 40 yards, 50 yards, and it's just dink and dunk all the way down. Also, look at him in the red zone. If we like Baker to throw to, who does he throw to? Who's it going to be?
The guy that's
banged up Mbuka.
Yeah, he's got none this year. It's crazy.
That's it. Yeah, he's not gotten the end zone yet. So
I will say we mention it every week. Plus 165 on a player that hasn't scored a touchdown all year to score one is not enough.
No, the number's not right.
I'm not saying it's a bad player. I'm saying that number is horrific.
Well, I'm looking at it saying, doesn't that tell you a story? Doesn't that number tell you a story? That there's that little options left, that they are lining him at 165. It should be what, 240?
300
Yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Right?
something like that.
I would want 240 plus, quite honestly.
If we like Baker to throw for 2, it's got to go. It's probably going to go to 2 different players. So pick your poison, play it how you like it. That's all.
Yeah, this receiving number seems awfully low. 39.5 when he's coming off 81, 51, 65. It's pretty crazy.
I was just thinking, would you go receiving or receptions? I think the receiving's probably
Receiving.
better.
Receiving. I very rarely play his receptions, but again, if you're going to jump in on something live and you just see that, say Tampa for some reason is down in this game, then maybe you go receptions because it's just going to be you're going to get 4 catches in the last 2 drives.
Move on to the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Corbin, say it.
Yeehaw!
Against the Denver Broncos.
Corbin, I'm going to send you a cowboy hat for when you do this. You're going to have to put the cowboy hat on.
This is by far my favorite team mascots playing each other, the Cowboys and the Broncos. It just doesn't get any better. Good. Oh, yeah, a cowboy and a Bronco? Yeah, a horse and a cowboy? Come on, it doesn't get better than that. Props galore. Honestly, I could find 5 or 6 of them that I like. Well, I'll go first. I'll start picking them off. Cortland Sutton. I'm going right back to Cortland Sutton. We're fading this Denver defense. That's horrific. We talked about the Giants and how bad Cowboys they are against. Yeah, this Dallas defense. So the Giants bad against wide receivers. We played him last week. He went over by 37 yards. It was a pretty easy cash. I like Cortland Sutton to do good things in this game. Passing touchdowns. Yeah, give me Bo Nix. Absolutely. This Dallas defense is, again, one of the worst. It's not a bet on Bo Nix. It's a fade of Dallas. They've given up bottom 5 in terms of passing touchdowns. As far as rushing goes, I got to be honest, I do not think this Denver Broncos defense is all that. I think that they've just been a little bit exposed of not being as elite. Like if you in fantasy, you drafted Denver thinking, "Oh, I got one of the best defenses," and that just hasn't come to fruition. And look at these rushing yards from Javonte: 116, 135, 85, 76, 97. And again, we mentioned Carolina. They're a surprisingly good rush defense. That's one thing they can do well. So I really like Javonte Williams to have a big game. And I will save the Jake Ferguson props for Jim. So, Corbin, I'll come to you next, and then we'll get Jim, and he can talk about Jake Ferguson.
I was also going to say that Javonte Williams is the revenge angle again, because he's obviously playing his old team. Another factor. I've got 2 props. I'm going back to Evan Ingram over his receiving, 31.5. 3 weeks straight. His usage is up. Cowboys have the worst pass defense. I'm just going to keep playing Evan Ingram. And then my second, it's slightly juicier this week, but it's Aubrey over 1.5 field goals. Rinse and repeat. 2 of 7. He hasn't said 5 and 2. Denver has the best red zone defense. It all adds up perfectly. The Cowboys make a right hash of some drives and just send themselves backwards at times. Just keep playing Aubrey, who is the best kicker in the league, so even from midfield can kick it in. Just it gives you so much more options. That's why it's minus 180 this week. But again, stick that with, I don't know, the Colts money line or something just to bring it down a tad, and you're all good. So they're my 2 props.
Jim?
Well, you already said it. Jake Ferguson, no matter who's in the lineup, sure seems to be connected with Dak here. I will say I don't really love the receiving number. I would be more interested in the anytime touchdown at this point. Again, minus 165. Look what's been going on. Even with them back, he's getting in the end zone. So I'm going to stick with Ferguson as far as that goes. Corbin, absolutely fantastic look on Evan Ingram. You're right. What I love about him is that he get run game too. They're running sweeps to Ingram pretty consistently. So he's getting these touches. I'll again go Evan Ingram down at the goal line. If they're having trouble running the ball, it's very obvious who's going to run the sweep. And it's Evan Ingram. Shocking to say for a tight end, but it's just the truth. As far as the Denver defense goes, great against the pass, bad against the run. You got revenge angle. You beat me to it. I think it's Javonte. The number is low because it is the Broncos. And I think they're just overestimated how good this Broncos rush D is. I think the Javonte could have a very successful day. Low-key, I kind of like Dallas to possibly upset the Broncos here. I think people are sleeping on it.
I don't even think that's much of an upset. I took Dallas plus 3.5 easily in the pick 5 on Bet Online, the contest I'm still alive on. I do have to mention, I forgot to mention, Turpin. It's a low number, 15.5, but he just, like, this is a guy that You could also take Corbin. Look, he's gone over his longest reception. Maybe that's the best way to do it because some games he does just only catch one pass, but he goes over. So if you get that, listen. This is not a guy you throw a 3-yard slant to on a to try and get the first down. This is a guy. It's like, it's 1st and 10. Let's get Turpin involved.
This is when on the first drive it's going to be 3rd and 2, and he's going to get a slant catch now for 3
I'm happy to eat my words. But there's something to do with Turpin. This falls in the category of riding the streak. So, we move on to the most popular game in Survivor. Myself and Dan, who partnered up, we both are on the Bengals this week. As much of a Colts fan as I am, I got to tell you guys, a Titans upset would not exactly ruin my day. What's that?
You said you're on the Bengals.
Against the Jets?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about this game, and then you mentioned the Bengals. I was like,
no. Me and Dan are on the Bengals in Survivor. We're saying if the Titans upset the Colts, we lose about 50% of the people left in our Survivor. So if ever there was a game for Danny Dimes to revert back to the Giants, Danny Dimes, and throw 3 interceptions and just like sail some passes, I don't think it's going to happen. But I know where I'm going in this game. My favorite game of the week for some props. Jim, what do you think?
Tyler Warren. We're rolling. It's the premonition has come to fruition. He is the goal line threat. He is the offense. He's the focal point. He's the game changer. He's getting the touches. Look at it. Just as soon as they were like, oh, wow, we haven't got our rookie in the end zone. I know. Let's start actually going to him down at the goal line. I think we see this trend continue. The guy is just an absolute weapon. They're going to trot him out. And with the play of Danny Dimes, how could you not like this prop? Just keep going with Tyler Warren to score. He's becoming the Jalen Hurts where you almost just take it. Now, we're going to hit a point where he's either going to set an NFL record on this streak or he's going to start to tail off. I don't think it's yet. I don't think it's this week. I think he's got another great shot to get in that end zone. That's all I have. It's Tyler Warren overs for me.
I will just jump in here and I will just say, Tyler Warren, I know we're only a few games in. This is becoming one of the biggest, like, what in the world were the teams below him thinking?
Don't bring it up again, please.
I know Jim was beside himself. Let me wipe my
tears again. Hold on.
The exact quote from Jim when they did not draft Tyler Warren, and I quote, "God forbid we draft a playmaker."
Another left tackle. Great.
Look at the bright side. If he was on the Jets, we wouldn't get to play him at all because they still wouldn't throw him the ball.
No, he'd be playing quarterback on the Jets. Don't worry. He can take the snap.
Corbin, what do you like in this game?
Obvious sense. I have Colts money line in some plays. Warren, you already mentioned. I played him most weeks. Just keep playing it. Do we play Jonathan Taylor to score a touchdown? It's minus 250. But again, he's going to get in the end zone.
Yep.
Like he just is.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Go right ahead.
We have a client play on Jonathan Taylor to score not 1, but 2 touchdowns.
Oh.
And the reason is 1 touchdown is minus 380, minus 400. You can get plus 150 on 2 touchdowns.
Makes no sense.
Look at what this man has done the last 2 games against Tennessee. He has as many touchdowns in his last 2 games as Tua has interceptions in his last 2 games. He eats this Titans defense for lunch. 3, and that's earlier this season that he scored 3. Then he had 3 at the end of last year. This Titans rush defense is one of the worst in the NFL. It's almost why I almost leaned Daniel Jones under his passing yards, just because I think like Jonathan Taylor's going to have such a big game. And when I told you ladder of the week, I almost went with Jonathan Taylor as kind of the ladder play of the week. So Corbin, you're 100% right. Maybe you don't overthink it, and maybe you just go, you know what? Unless Jonathan Taylor, gets, Chauncey Billups the night before the game and gets arrested, or he twists an ankle coming out of the tunnel, how does he not punch one in? Exactly. But I've got him 2 touchdowns at plus 150. That's a client play.
You parlay the 1 touchdown. You do what you have to do to make that playable as well. 100%.
I will be.
I know.
It's
Any other any other props here for you, Corbin?
No.
Okay. If I believe Josh Downs is going to be out, Alex Pierce is a monster when Josh Downs is out. So it's just kind of one of these rules. When Downs is out, you play Alex Pierce. Jim, you already mentioned Tyler Warren, one of the most unheralded fantasy players this year has been Michael Pittman. Sometimes, he doesn't get all the yardage, but he was drafted way late, and Pittman is finally healthy. It's nice to see what he can do. My problem is I just think they're going to be up, and I worry about him. And as terrifying as this Cam Ward at 207.5 is too low. Garbage time counts. Look at what this guy has done the last 3 games. 255, 222, 265. When they get down, he ends up having to throw. Their running game, their running offense is a joke. Well, I mean, their whole team's kind of a joke, but look what they have. Tony Pollard, 41.5. Look at what Jonathan Taylor's at, 99.5. So you have one team's starting running back is 100 yards, the other's is 41.5. So the books have no respect for the rushing offense. I think this is one of those where Cam Ward has 88 yards at halftime and then ends with 230 because he ends up throwing for another 100 in the fourth quarter in garbage time. I love these garbage time bad team quarterbacks. So I will take over 207.5. And by the way, last week I did say Justin Herbert was going to have a big game, and he had 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was in garbage time, but what do we think is going to happen with this Titans team? So
it's one that, again, we mention it all the time. Live betting is so good this year. Again, if Cam Ward starts off slow, this number's going to creep down and down and down and down. You get to the second half, they're down 2-3 scores, and you can take probably under 200, quite honestly, might be the live line. They fly this number down.
Yeah,
exactly.
It'll be 170 or something. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100% right. All right, Corbin. I mean, if ever there was a Corbin game, it's Aaron Rodgers for the Steelers playing the Green Bay Packers. You better have a bunch of props in this one. No, I'm just kidding. What do you like in this one?
Can I go first and steal all Corbin's props?
No, this is Corbin's game. This is the Corbin special.
Okay, I'm going to fire off 3 that I like. First, Rodgers over his passing touchdowns. Yeah. I don't need to overcomplicate this. Rodgers is going to make a point that he should still be on our team. And quite honestly, I still prefer him to Jordan Love. I'm not the biggest Love supporter at the minute. I'm not very happy with Mr. Love. Him to throw 1 passing touchdown, I think he's done it every game this year, is a great parlay piece. You put him to have 1 passing touchdown, probably with Jonathan Taylor to score a touchdown, and you get a great parlay together. So that's enough on the Rodgers. My second is Warren over 18.5 receiving yards. 22, 86, 34, 11, and 31. I think this is the perfect kind of prop. He loves to check it down. Our defense is susceptible to check downs like this from the running back. I think he's going to fly. That might be one that you could probably ladder into the 30s, I think, for Warren. And then this is a bit of a trickier one. It's the tight ends for the Steelers. I was going through the numbers. I think Freiermuth over 1.5 receptions might be the play. It's hard to pick. I was looking at Jonnu Smith, but he's gone under in 4 straight. I don't really trust him at that kind of 3.5 number. Freiermuth at 1.5, I think, is far more accessible. I kind of like even Washington over his 2.5 receptions. I think if I had to, he gets the tight ends involved in the short dump offs and then the yards after catch. If I had to pick an order of what I'd play, I'd probably go Freiermuth, Washington, Jonnu Smith in that order. I think they all could have decent games though. So.
Well, sadly, the books have agreed with you, and so has the betting public on Freiermuth because they bumped that. Yeah, they bumped that to plus money on 2.5. So those 1.5s disappeared earlier today. But you still got your Washington, you got your Jonnu Smith props for tight ends.
Do you understand why is Jonnu Smith at 3.5 and the other is at 2.5? I don't understand. He's gone under in 4 straight. to me, he's going to the other two. Like, it's better to go to the other two than this. It's
This
just
is a
not
weird
working
one.
as well.
You're right. These Jonnu Smith props are a touch on the weird side. Like,
Yeah,
why are
if
they?
anything, I'd almost look under. I mean, the facts speak for themselves. I mean, 4 straight under. I mean, what's to say you can't have a fifth? So, as I said,
Jim?
with Warren back as well, there's just too many other options at the minute for me.
Yeah, I think that tight end position is quite muddy right now on who's going to be the guy.
Yeah,
I believe the consensus was Jonnu Smith at the beginning of the season. You can tell by
correct.
their production. But Darnell Washington is getting a lot of run, and it's taken carries and touches away from both the other guys. He had a lot of targets last week. They didn't equate to yards and receptions, but he had a lot of targets. And that really steals when you're looking at 2 guys at 2.5 and 1 guy at 3.5. I'd be a little worried about who they decide is their starting tight end each week because we might not know. I'm going to do a little devil's advocate here. I think the Packers are twice as motivated to win this game than Aaron Rodgers is to come in and beat them. I will put faith in your Packers this week, Corbin. I believe Christian Watson is back. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I forgot to touch on it. I was a huge fan of the golden rushing because he assumed the Christian Watson like handoff outside run. With Watson back, if I could get a Watson rush line, because honestly they will find a way to get him involved, and a little handoff for a run would be great. They probably won't offer it the number this week, but it would be a great number to look for. So
They do actually, Corbin. They're giving you 1.5. So they're basically like, does he get
rush.
one handoff on the end around?
He will.
He for sure does. 100% does. I love plays like that. Where it's one carry. I got Justin Herbert live last night. They had 51 yards. They put the line out at 52.5. Like, you need like 2 yards. Like, of course he's going to get that with a whole half to play. That little one play prop is the best. We're forgetting about what this defense can do to Aaron Rodgers. This Steelers defense starting to look old. They're playing well, but they're looking old. You're seeing Jalen Ramsey start pulling up with that hamstring. We're seeing these guys start to not look their best. TJ Watt's getting the double team, and he can't beat it like he used to. I think this is a younger, better Packers team that is going to win. So I'd be looking at the Packers here. I'll be looking at sacks as well, Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons. Rodgers' mobility, I know it's looked good for the year, but all you got to do is hit Aaron one time, and he starts looking like he's, no pun intended, seeing ghosts. And just his eyes go down. He's looking to scramble the pocket too soon. Saw a lot of times last week where he was not on the same page with the rest of the Steelers. And against a team like the Packers, that could get them in trouble. The last thing I'll talk about is Tucker Kraft. He's just Jordan Love's guy. When it gets down to the end zone, I'm going to look to play him. The Steelers linebackers, they're great, but they're not known as cover linebackers. They're blitzers. It's a pressure system. They're not going to drop back and be able to blanket Tucker Kraft going over the middle. So I like Kraft on his yardage and score. Anytime touchdown there. That's it. Packers for the win.
I think we're glossing over Josh Jacobs here against this Steelers defense that isn't that good. You said it, Jim. Like the Steelers defense, not very good. They've really struggled this year. And you're right, they do look old. I don't know. I know TJ Watt's awesome and everything, but I feel like TJ Watt is kind of like the highlight guy. This reminds me of Jadeveon Clowney, where it was like,
yes.
Has anyone made more money off of one highlight than Jadeveon Clowney? They were showing his college highlight when he was like 6 years into the league. Like, oh yeah, he can blow up a play, and it's like, yeah, against a shit offense in college, great. Josh Jacobs coming. I think Josh Jacobs runs wild here. I don't think they're going to ask Jordan Love to do a whole lot. He's coming off a game where he only had 55 yards, but before that he had 93 and 86 against 2 bad defenses. And his rush attempts, they have it 16.5. Boy, if he goes over his rush attempts, he's going to fly over this total here. So I would take a look at Josh. I think this is a sneaky Josh Jacobs game. So. All right, guys, it's going to do it for us. I don't think we have any other games, only one
Chiefs.
game.
Do we want to do Chiefs?
You want to do the Monday night game? Okay, let's do the Monday night game.
I only have one prop in this, so.
All right, make it a good one. What is it?
Thornton over 8.5 longest reception.
What?
4 or 5.
That's
He's gone
your
over.
big prop.
Well, fine, okay. We'll pretend I didn't say
What
it.
number did you get?
8.5 for his longest reception.
It is a good one.
Oh, of course it's a good one. I wouldn't mention it if it wasn't.
It's a good one. That's it?
Yeah. Every time I go to speak, the Commanders' pass defense isn't great, I don't think. Rice came back. They got in the ball quite often in the first quarter, but again, he kind of slowed down towards the end of the game. He always gets open. Like he gets at least 2 targets a week. He's going to catch one for over 8.5. I don't think most of the receptions I remember from watching all go over this total anyway. If he's getting the targets and receptions, still, I think we're good. So,
Jim, do you like anything in this one?
We're confirmed that we have no Kareem Hunt, correct?
He
got banged up last week.
I'm not really sure, and they don't have props on him right now.
Well, here's why. Isaiah Pacheco over 11.5 rush attempts. This defense is bad. And Pacheco hasn't been lighting the world on fire, but 11.5 seems really low when the guy you were splitting carries with could be out. So it's kind of one of those you bet it now and you wait and see, and you hope that he's ruled out. But who's going to steal carries from Pacheco? 1 or 2 to Worthy?
There was the guy that came in at the end of the game last week, but that's only because it was a huge blowout.
It'll still be Pacheco if the game's within reach.
Yes. It's only because the game was way out of reach. Again, the Chiefs being up, you could get a great number on Pacheco last week. We mentioned it in the Discord. We took his rushing over like 45, and within like 3 or 4 plays from mentioning it, he flew over. So that's another good look if the Chiefs get up.
I'll mention Marcus Mariota over his rushing 26.5. He had 34. Yeah, last week. Yep. He just takes off and run. I don't think I haven't laid a big total. I took the Chiefs minus 10.5 in our pick 5 contest. I think Chiefs roll. I love the Chiefs team total over in this one. I think the Chiefs, like the Ravens, are the next couple teams that just start running the table. So, all right. Any other props in this game? Nope. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Please hit the like button. Let us know your favorite prop down there. Let us know if you agree or disagree with any of the props that we had. If you got a same game parlay, we'd love to hear that. We love reading all of your guys' comments and seeing what you're on. Some really good props out there for this week. And don't forget, it is National Tight Ends Day.
How could you forget Jim's mentioned a tight end every single game?
It's just such a weird.
Why?
It's just a weird thing. Let's just name it National Tight Ends Day.
We got to thank George Kittle. It's great.
It's so great. Funny.
He kicked it off with a bang with Gadsden.
That's true. You're right. Gadsden gets in. Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks very much for watching. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Good luck.